In 2022, we saw a lot of wars. Russia-Ukraine War, America-Afghanistan War, Armenia-Azerbaijan War over Nagorno-Karabakh. But among all these wars, there was one that completely overshadowed all of them: the 1971 war between India and Pakistan. The world witnessed the largest military operation in history. It involved more than 500,000 soldiers, thousands of tanks and warplanes. And the outcome of the war completely changed the political map of the world. We are talking about an astonishing victory for India. Today, we will tell you the story of India's greatest victory, the 1971 war. Before we start, let us pay tribute to our soldiers who fought for the nation. Let us also tell you that this video is not an attempt to hurt any religious sentiments. All the visuals shown in the video are symbolic. Well, now let's get back to the story. As we all know, India got independence on August 15, 1947. But this freedom came at a cost. Millions of people had to leave their homes and become refugees. The British cleverly ensured that Muslims from India would migrate to Pakistan, and the Sikhs, along with some Hindus, would come to India. As a result, India started with a Hindu majority, while Pakistan started with a Muslim majority. After independence, both countries fought 3 wars. The first war was over Kashmir, then the second war was over Bangladesh, and the third was the Indo-Pakistani War of 1971. Well, now it's clear why the first 2 wars happened. One side wanted Kashmir, and the other side didn't want to give it up easily. But what was the reason for the third war? Why did India fight its third war with Pakistan? For an answer, we must go back to the year 1947. After the partition of India, the region of Bengal was divided into East and West Bengal. East Bengal went to India, and West Bengal went to Pakistan. But just 2 years later, the Muslim League government of Pakistan passed the Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation Act. This law gave them control over the areas around East Bengal. The next year, they also took over the administration of Assam, and the war with India seemed imminent. This led to massive protests by the Bengalis. By 1951, things were so bad that Indian Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru spoke with Pakistani Prime Minister Liaquat Ali Khan. They agreed to form a commission to resolve the border disputes. Finally, on March 1, 1952, the Radcliffe Award was announced. It settled most of the border disputes and gave India 8,000 square miles more territory than Pakistan. But this did not stop Pakistan. They kept on claiming Indian territories like Sitalkot, Cooch Behar, and the entire state of Assam. In fact, the last official war between India and Pakistan began in 1965 when Pakistani proxies infiltrated Jammu and Kashmir. The war lasted for 12 days and ended with Tashkent Agreement. But by 1971, things had gone from bad to worse. Sheikh Abdullah, who was the chief minister of Jammu and Kashmir, accused Pakistan of infiltrating Kashmir. This led to Operation Searchlight, where Indian forces entered East Pakistan to flush out Pakistani infiltrators. But this led to another problem. Now you might ask what exactly happened in East Pakistan. To understand that, let's look at the map. If you look closely, you can see that East Pakistan was separated from West Pakistan by 1,600 kilometers. On the other hand, India and East Pakistan shared a 4,000 kilometers long border. This meant that East Pakistanis had no option but to trade with India. For obvious reasons, the Western leadership never liked it. They imposed discriminatory policies against East Pakistan. Moreover, the Western leadership was more focused on Kashmir rather than East Pakistan. People of East Pakistan felt completely neglected. They demanded autonomy from West Pakistan. But the demand was outrightly rejected. Meanwhile, India supported the movement for autonomy in East Pakistan. It became a major point of tension between the two nations. Meanwhile, India started receiving intelligence reports that Pakistan was planning something big. According to the reports, the Pakistani army was massing up its troops near the border. At the same time, the United States was putting pressure on India to resolve the issue diplomatically, but India refused to back down. On March 3, 1971, Indian soldiers entered East Pakistan. Their mission was simple: flush out Pakistani infiltrators from East Pakistan. Now, this was not going to be a walk in the park because Pakistan was expecting this attack. The Pakistani army was fully prepared. When Indian soldiers crossed the border, they were welcomed with heavy artillery fire. Not just the army, even the Air Force joined the attack. Indian planes were targeted. Indian pilots found themselves in a dogfight with the enemy. The war continued for several weeks, and soon India called for reinforcements. Major General J.F.R. Jacob took charge of the Eastern Command. His first task was to secure the borders of West Bengal. He used guerrilla tactics to push Pakistani forces away from the border, but this bought him only some time. He needed help from the Indian Air Force. Let us show you what was happening in the skies of India. At the start of the war, the Indian Air Force had 420 combat aircraft. On the other hand, the Pakistani Air Force had 295 combat aircraft. As soon as the war broke out, the Indian Air Force began attacking Pakistani positions. Every now and then, Pakistani jets flew in to disrupt the supply chain. The Indian Air Force was up for the challenge. Both sides suffered heavy losses. But as the war dragged on, the Indian Air Force gained dominance in the skies. By the end of the war, the IAF had destroyed 975 enemy aircraft while losing only 224. That is a staggering 81% destruction ratio. Anyway, Major General Jacob needed air support to penetrate deeper into enemy territory. The Indian Air Force obliged. On November 11, 1971, Indian paratroopers landed near Jessore in East Pakistan. Their mission was to capture the city and establish a strong base there. But the Pakistani army put up fierce resistance. Within hours of capturing the airstrip, the general realized that his men were outnumbered. He needed backup. He requested the Indian Air Force to delay Pakistani reinforcements. Indian pilots obliged and carried out several bombing runs. After securing the airfield, the Indian forces were deployed. At the same time, another front was opened in West Pakistan. On December 4, 1971, Indian troops entered Lahore. From here, they advanced towards Kasur. The situation was grim. Pakistan had deployed its best troops here. The Indian forces faced stiff resistance. But by December, the Indian troops reached Kasur. Soon, they entered enemy territory and captured several key towns. So far, we have told you about the battles fought by the Indian Army. But what about the Navy? What role did the Indian Navy play in winning the war? During the war, the Indian Navy carried out a total of 1750 sorties. These included attacks on Karachi Harbor, rescue missions, and attacks on enemy convoys. The most important mission was Operation Trident. It was carried out on December 4, 1971. The Indian Navy attacked Karachi Harbor. They destroyed PNS Khybar, a guided missile boat, PNS Shah Jahan, a minesweeper, and PNS Muhafiz, a frigate. Not just the ships, the Navy also targeted oil depots and other installations. The attack dealt a severe blow to Pakistan's morale. Anyway, as the war progressed, it became clear that Pakistan would lose either way. So they decided to surrender. On December 6, 1971, Lieutenant General Jagjit Singh Arora accepted the surrender of Pakistani forces. 3 days later, on December 9, 1971, Lieutenant General A.A.K. Niazi surrendered Pakistani forces in East Pakistan. With this, India won its third war against Pakistan. The war completely changed the political map of the world. The most important consequence of the war was the creation of Bangladesh. 100 million people became part of the new country. Another consequence of the war was the creation of the People's Republic of Bangladesh. The new country had a president, Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and a prime minister, Tajuddin Ahmed. Lastly, the war led to the rise of Islamic fundamentalism in Pakistan. Talking about India, it emerged as a dominant power in South Asia. But that's a topic for another day. Anyway, that's all for today. If you like the video, share it with your friends and family. Subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Thank you for watching.